Geek Dad Life presents live reactions to Season 3 of The Mandalorian. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to live reactions of Season 3 of The Mandalorian. Chapter 17, The Apostate, is what we're here to talk about tonight. And with me on this journey of mandiferousness, good friends, Matt and Ralph. Gentlemen, how you doing tonight?
Great.
I'm doing excellent. So better than your puns.
Thank you. Yeah, my puns are terrible. But can I just say something?
Sure.
No.
You know, it's
Silence for the next 45 minutes.
we have kind of a backstage, pre-show, like getting stuff together and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I gotta call you out, Ralph, for being super negative
Right.
before we went live.
Look, I don't wanna bring that to the show.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So I use the F word and the S word and I've spoken.
Okay, fine. All right. Anyway.
So say we all.
So say we all. Let's say hello to the chat before we get into anything. Now we got Charlie Weaver, Nick Dillinger, Toy Geekosaurus, Lucha Johnny, Brick Something is in the house. Jeff Morris is here. We've got Mike Giorlico. Matt's in the chat somehow, some way.
I didn't do that this time.
Studio Henge, Kenton is here. Nelson A. Tryon GDL, this is the way. Dadgummit all, Ralph.
Nick was on my stream earlier today, so he saw me talk positive.
You had Nick on your streamer. That's what it is.
Okay.
He was in my
That
chat.
explains.
No, don't do this one. I hate this one.
I always feel like
I don't even know why this one's an option. This makes no sense.
Because if you
We look like the three bears.
look at how nice
I'm
I
like,
look.
Look how gigantic I am.
I know.
The
How
camera's
huge.
centered well.
I need
but
to
if I
change
go
my
like that,
settings to
There
be
you go.
like low
You get to see
definition or something.
Toily holding a
Your angle's too close. That's why.
Godzilla. And I mean, this is as far back as I could push this thing.
Mike, that is the first thing I wanted to talk about. That is
Okay.
right on my list right there. So
Well,
yeah.
let's just talk about. Okay, before we get into anything,
We're derailing.
we
Jay.
have to at least put up the spoiler banner. We're here to talk about Chapter 17, The Apostate. So if you haven't seen the episode yet, get out of here. Hit the like button. Then skedoodle.
Come
And then
back
come
later.
back after you've watched the episode.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, Matt, you want to lead with the Ahsoka Rebels Easter egg?
It was just it was top on my list of the things that I was most excited about. It was seeing the Purrgil. I mean, that moment to me was it was so cool. And I felt like there was like a little bit of a connection there where Grogu was sensing these other beings in space.
Yes.
And so connecting to
Space
the end.
whales.
Space whales. So if you haven't watched Rebels, chug through that thing because Ahsoka's coming, and some of those just like I don't know. There's Clone Wars references,
Mhm.
hidden throughout. But the Purrgil though was definitely a top favorite. Seeing them, so. In fact, my whole family, because I watch it with my kids, we were just like, ooh, we just got super excited. In fact, that's all my daughter kept talking about was like, this makes me so excited for Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So-
Same. Like I saw. So I was watching it with my oldest son Zach, and he was like, "They have space whales," and I was like, "Well, you gotta,
Pretty spot on impression.
it's like they're in Rebels." But it's been a minute since we watched Rebels, and I just think he forgot the season
sure.
finale of Rebels, or
Yeah.
oh, it's like the whole fourth season, right? Are they anywhere?
They make 2 appearances, I believe, in the entire series.
Okay.
So
Either way, it was the same thing for me. I was like, oh, this is so exciting. And I'm definitely excited for Ahsoka. But here's something that people also know about Ralph is he hosts a fantastic Star Wars channel called Live Action Star Wars. And that is the title because he hates animated Star Wars. So, Ralph, is this why you're in a bad mood? Because there was so much animated Star Wars love in this episode?
No. I like Rebels. I'll tell you
You
that.
have said you like Rebels.
Yeah.
Rebels.
Rebels.
So you've seen Rebels?
Yeah, I've seen Rebels. I've seen all of it. With
Okay.
the exception of Resistance, which I tried and wasn't for me. I feel like I was the wrong demographic.
Same.
And I just don't give a
Resistance.
about
Let's not talk about
Bad Batch
Resistance.
season 2. I just do not care.
There's good. I will say there's a lot of filler in season 2, but there's good in season.
Oh, the last 2 episodes have been dynamite, and they're really setting up, I think, what's going to be the end of the series. Some of the larger plot things that will happen with that show. But the last 2 episodes have been so good, really developing that mythos. It kind of wandered a little aimlessly, I think, at the beginning of this season 2, but now we're getting kind of like the teeth of the story. So
yeah, it's
sidetrack for anybody that's watching.
I can wait though, right?
Currently,
Yeah,
and there's been some bangers in this season. The Commander Cody episode is amazing.
Mm-hmm. But some of the things that they're dealing with now, and I won't give any spoilers away if you haven't watched that yet, but some of the references that happened in this most recent episode, I feel like maybe it could connect eventually to other characters in the Mandalorian universe. Who knows? So anyway.
But gentlemen, it's been, I don't know, 37 years since the last season of Mandalorian. I mean, it's been so long.
Feels so long.
That go ahead.
We haven't covered a new episode of Mandalorian on live action Star Wars. It's been that long.
Oh, and we haven't covered that on this channel, right? Or even old GDO or Prime.
No, I don't think so. I think I had both of you on as guests on my Patreon show because I didn't have a Star Wars podcast. I didn't want a Star Wars podcast. I didn't feel like podcasting about Star Wars. But I'm like, I don't want to talk about this new show. And
And my other 2 co-hosts that I am on a podcast with are upset that I'm doing this show and not actually podcasting. So yes, this is kind of something new. We 3 haven't talked about Mandalorian.
Just let them know that it wasn't up to you, that you were chosen. You were handpicked to be on the show and nobody else.
Yeah.
Did you just say
Not
jealous much?
I didn't say jealous much.
Oh, okay. I thought that's what you said.
Man, that was like what is that? Transference? What is that called?
Kinetic energy.
That's what you want to say. Jeff Moore says Bad Batch 2 season 2 is not bad, but I sort of forgot about it today since same. I forgot it was out today too. I usually catch up on it when Colleen does her podcast. It's like I gotta watch like my shows because she always says she wants to watch the animated Star Wars shows, but then she just doesn't pay attention. I'm just gonna keep watching.
Are those other 2 dudes mad that they're not on Colleen's show?
I think so. I think that they want to actually do another crossover show.
See,
eventually
I might podcast again about it. I don't know.
Here's the thing.
Here with you guys.
I'm going to clarify this. I've seen every episode of Clone Wars, every episode of Rebels, first season of Bad Batch, 1 episode of Visions. But here's the thing is I just didn't want to cover it all. It's too much to cover. And so when we were thinking of doing a Star Wars show, which was just going to be during the hiatus for Invincible, which again, there hasn't been a new Invincible for over 2 years. So I was like, well, to make it easy, we'll just do live action movies and stuff and shows, and then find some weird things to kind of fill the time. And now we're like running out of stuff. So it's good that Mando's back.
Exactly. It's called.
It was easier to sort of like create. This is what our show is. Yeah, we're just covering this.
Just when Ralph thinks he's out, they pull him back in. I think Vactor. We gotta get Vactor on one of these episodes. I know.
Possibly next week.
Yeah, I don't. Oh yeah, because Ralph, you may not be in. Not be in for Ralph next week. But yeah, so we'll have some guests coming in with us this season as well. So thank you so much for joining. But okay, so it's been 75 years since the last Mandalorian season, and we've never covered it before. So gentlemen, Even though Book of Boba Fett had pretty much
Right. Yeah, we were not going to count that. Yeah,
a little bit of Mando.
I'll count it as Mandalorian 2.5.
Yeah, kinda. You could say
Yeah.
that. You son of a, I'm in. But so how did it feel? How did it feel to, like, be back in the Mandalorian universe? Matt, I'll let you kick it off. What was
me to kick it off?
Yeah.
Okay, so unlike season 2, which really had kind of like more of, I think, like beginning to end, full meal, as far as like a story. This one really was just kind of like, hey, we're gonna set the table. Like, I felt like it was more of a setting the table episode. Like,
sure,
here we have Grief Karga. This was what he's doing. He's dealing with these pirates. Okay, great. We got this other pirate king. We got Bo-Katan. We're gonna drop a little references in here for you, but we're really kind of setting up like what's going to be the larger plot, and kind of setting up these new missions for him to go on. And then it was just sprinkled with some fanfare, and I fell in love with all of the fanfare. Sorry, I'm a sucker for it. That's my take on it.
I just, and before I go to Ralph, I'll just say this: it didn't feel like over the top or anything. Like, I thought it was fine. I love the Swamp Thing cameo as well.
Alan Moore is so mad. Alan Moore is pissed.
Salad Man. Okay,
Sigmund
so
and the Sea Monsters.
Ralph.
Shard.
I
think that's like a vegetable too. Shard.
Yeah,
it is. It's like
it's like and he's called Gorian Shard. I think they're messing with us. Okay.
It goes back to like Hammerhead and stuff like Snaggletooth. Ralph, what was your thoughts? And I know you already podcasted about this today. But
yeah. I think season 1 and 2 of Mandalorian is junk food. And I like junk food. Junk food's great.
Okay.
But I need a little more substance. I've watched Mandalorian season 1 and 2 the first time it came out. Thought it was great. Tried doing a rewatch. Couldn't really get into it because the story is sort of a little bit thin. Like, when you put on the episode called The Child, which is the second episode of the series, you're like, oh, this is the one with the mud horn.
Yeah,
I know what happens. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
it's like lost flashbacks. Like, I tend to fast forward through the lost flashbacks because I'm like, that's not the mystery stuff, and I already know what happens to this character, so I kind of will skip through. So with this season 3 episode 1 was right on track with Mandalorian. It felt like a Mandalorian episode. Not a whole lot there. I felt a lot better after doing the show earlier, talking it through. So that was good. But I feel like it's just kind of, I don't know. Mandalorians aren't really my thing. I found the Clone War episodes with Mandalorian it kind of being my least favorite. It's just not. It's too Game of Thrones.
It's just Game of
Games.
You put the
pluralize. I'm trying to Games of Thrones. Pluralized.
New York, something like that. Yeah.
But it's fine. It was fine. Everything's fine.
We lost a bunch of viewers because we're like, screw this, I'm out.
Well, no, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I'm kind of damned if I do, damned if I don't. Like, like we did have we've had this conversation with Masters of the Universe Revelations, where we both loved it, and we got met with resistance. And on this one, you guys like Mandalorian, and I am being a counterpoint instead of being an echo chamber, and I feel like I'm being resistance.
I want you to be happy, Ralph.
Oh, I'll be happy. I'm happy. There's new Star Wars.
But here's the thing. What did I just say? I agree with that sentiment. In like a rewatch, there's filler in there. It's a Filoni thing, I don't. It's where like animated shows there's filler too. It's just kind of like it's episode of the week stuff, or even like X-Files, where you had the mythology episodes and the monster of the week episodes. And to me, I was always more about the mythology episodes, and that I would just go back and rewatch those. And when I was rewatching Mandalorian, I was like, I'm doing the episodes where stuff actually vaguely related to the plot happened. And really that it amounted to maybe, 3 or 4 episodes in a season, and that was my
Well,
rewatch.
that's what I think. What's great about Book of Boba Fett is we got a really nice, tight, like 4-episode arc of the Mandalorian,
Mhm.
and it was great. So cool. Like I just
That's what I was laughing at, by the way.
the director. Yes, I am happy it exists, and I'm very much happy to watch it. Again, I do like junk food, but I need a little more substance. Give me a cheeseburger with a side of carrots.
Okay, when do you ever get a cheeseburger with a side of carrots? I would never want carrots with my cheeseburger. Maybe I would get sweet potato fries. Like that is sweet potato fries.
Yeah, I guess so.
If I'm going healthy, but carrots, come on.
But I mean, I need something other than just the cheeseburger.
Sure, but can I just say I'm here for Bo-Katan, whatever she needs. Like it looks like she's lounging.
Looks like she needs a TV or a radio, maybe a record player, something.
She was just
a magazine.
Oh,
she
did you just come in?
Did she run to that chair as soon as he showed up in the system?
Yeah.
Did she run to that chair? No way. No way she's running. No way she's just sitting there the whole time.
Can I just say, Matt, what you would be for her is the guy that drops the grapes in her mouth.
I could only hope.
Yeah.
She can get it.
Okay. Okay. I for one enjoyed the episode, I guess is what I'm trying to get around to, because it was a nice ease in back into the world. And having just rewatched the back half of Book of Boba Fett, that's how I kind of led up to, I started with the Mando episode and went through the season finale. And I'm kind of with you, Ralph. The season finale of Book of Boba Fett was just a bunch of action, just nonstop action, which I enjoyed. You kind of felt it was a little tiring, but to be honest, I was also kind of like, whew, that was a lot. So to me, it was just kind of nice to just ease back in, and to me, where it set up really, or at least got me back into that universe, was its big opening scene in Florida, where in the swamps of Florida, you had a gator come on out, and
it even did the alligator roll.
It did the. I was like, oh, attaching your ropes to them is a bad idea.
It's in my notes, right under Mythosaur.
But
I think it could be a tease about that we might get the Mythosaur. I mean, come on. If he ends up going back to the planet, back to Mandalore, like, wouldn't that be an amazing thing to see? Because
he better go back. That appears to be the focus of this season.
Well, I mean,
and I brought this up earlier, but I mean, I feel like they're setting us up for a shirtless Mandalorian bathing in the waters.
Do we go shirtless but still helmet on, or can he go fully,
I think he could go fully no helmet. So I think it's going to happen.
No one would complain.
I just wanted to mention that opening. It was like a baptism by beast kind of moment, like the kids getting baptized, but then you also have the beast coming up, and you're like wondering, like,
so how
he
much
didn't finish his thing.
He didn't finish his baptism, but here's my question. Was that Visla's kid? Because he seemed very protective of him. That's my first part to this.
That's a good.
The second part, the last time we saw the armorer, it was just her and was it Pre-Vizsla? What's his name?
Yeah,
he's a
Vizsla. He's a Vizsla. Once a
whatever.
Vizsla, always a Vizsla.
Yeah.
Vizsla,
but that was it. It was like, that's all that's left. It's like, yeah. But that was like 3 days ago, I think. How do they get that many Mandos that quickly?
Okay, that was also on my list.
Favreau?
And how did he find them?
Yeah.
Like I thought they were basically like, peace out. This is it. You're excommunicated. You got your mission.
You're an apostate, yeah.
And then he's just like, he just finds them. Does he always have a homing beacon? I don't know. I just felt like I don't know that he was cut off.
Clearly time has passed, but not that much time. Like, it just whatever. It's
2 years.
We know
that would make sense.
John Favreau mentioned that. And then I think did some backpedaling.
The part says 2 to 3 months between Book of Boba Fett and this episode.
Yeah, but
Okay,
I think
well,
he
it would
said
make
he was. I think he said that Grogu was training with Luke for 2 years.
okay.
So
Now
there might have been 2 years between Mando season 2 and
I
Book of
see.
Boba Fett.
Oh, okay.
What would make sense with that is how Grief Karga has turned around that whole Navarro, right? Like there's trees
I
growing
want to
there,
live there. I want to go work there.
right? They've got hot springs, man. So
I'm just at that point in my life where it's just like, man, can I just? I'll be your marshal. You got a tract of land for me. I can just live off the fat of the earth. Sign
Man,
me
you could
up.
be a marshal,
Yeah,
say
just be a
whatever you
marshal.
want,
Yeah.
not get canceled.
you're not, no, she's off doing special forces now.
Special stuff.
Yeah,
She's not canceled, just doing special stuff.
Poochie died on her way.
But we got a lot of like backstory though.
Yeah,
from,
Mike.
from that, just that dialogue there. It was kind of like, oh well, what happened to Moff Gideon? You know, so.
Damn, I thought the same thing though. That Nick, it kind of was like, oh, is this the Disneyland? Like it very.
They're just gonna change back to Navarro.
They should.
Eventually.
They really should.
They could.
I mean, Ralph, have we all been to Disneyland or Disneyland?
I have not, but
Oh.
I'm going.
Oh.
Yeah, but I haven't told my kids. So
When
I gotta see. Sorry.
Are you telling me? Are you telling me right now that your kids aren't subscribed to this channel and don't watch?
Wow.
Right. Yes,
Wow.
exactly. That is exactly.
Wow, that's
Um,
terrific. Way to go. Some father you are.
I think a lot of us feel this way about Cara. Like Cara Dune, I liked her too.
Yeah.
She just had to be a big dum dum. But
And I feel like they tried.
they
I feel like
tried.
they're
Yeah.
like just double down and
Yeah,
she's
you know,
like
like-
weird.
It's like, hey, can you please stop? And it's like, I see you stop, and I'll double down on it. Navarro is just filmed in Galaxy's Edge.
kind of.
I will
Kinda,
say I've been to Galaxy's Edge. It's a ton of fun. I just gotta say it's there's all the signs are in what's the text?
Orabesh?
Yeah.
Arabesh.
So I was just like, it's really hard to like just find stuff. I'm like, can I get English and Arabesh? Like if I'm in Germany or Amsterdam or something, they have English and the native language.
Some fan you are.
D part, we mentioned the Purrgil at the very beginning. So you know if you're just joining us,
Oh yeah.
just let you know.
Yeah. Matt couldn't wait. We had
That's why I like even saw you mentioning it in the chat. I'm excited. So
Mike. At least Dilbert wasn't in Star Wars.
Yeah, thank God.
So Greek Karga, he says a line that Lando says to Han Solo. So good to see you. Like it's subtle. I mean, I know it's a simple phrase, but it's like it's there.
Yeah.
It kind of made me wonder, like, are we going to see a betrayal there? Because I mean, it's kind of set up.
Wait.
Like,
I just real quick because I think we're excited about the whatever, but the youngling is definitely Paz Vizslas, right? Right?
maybe. I mean, that was kind of a theory that you've. Yeah.
So there's that.
Okay.
Are they showing us this is the opening scene to the season because the last scene of this season is Grogu doing the helmet on and all that.
Wow. Way to drop that.
Helmet with ears.
No, you just do the helmet, but it cuts out for his ears.
That makes sense. I like that.
like a Mr. Potato Head Mandalorian.
Yeah,
Or it would just have, or it would pop out, So
ears come out.
Am I the only one that thinks that Grogu chose both and Luke was cool with that?
Dude, Luke, I love Luke. Seriously. But he was on the position to him. You have to choose either or. He didn't get to choose both.
He didn't say which one he chose. He just showed up with Din. He could still have that lightsaber. In fact, I think Luke was just like, no, this is the new way. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be.
Why would he position it that way? He said, you have
to. It's a test. It's a test. Sith deal in absolutes. It's a test. It's one or the other. And he says, no, I want both. And so he's like, cool, you passed the test. Go be with your family.
I like that theory, Ralph. I like that theory. But
Luke would never pull a kid away from his dad.
But
That's
he's
true.
trying out a whole new Jedi temple, and that's what he was setting up to do.
Mark my words. By the end of this season, we will see Grogu with that lightsaber.
Oh,
I'm just
I
saying,
think Grogu's going
it's
to
a
be
prediction.
wielding the dark saber. That's what he's going to be wielding. That's what we all want to see.
What?
Him with
So
the dark
big.
saber.
How does he hold the dark saber?
Does he have to kill Din for that?
All he has to do is like levitate it. Like he's already like spinning around in a chair like the Emperor, okay? And he's pulling Reese's Pieces out of that thing like E.T. Dude's ready to just wield and he's meditating with Purgil. So, and who's to say that he's not the one that controls the mythosaur, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, the title's been there the whole time. Grogu is the true Mandalorian that will wield the darksaber, lead them to a revolution.
Okay.
Sorry, did I?
I think I feel like our conversation from before we went live, where you're talking about conspiracies and TV shows. I think
I went off the deep end.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm just saying he has the lightsaber. That's it.
But what if he like reconstructs it to make it smaller? Like what if it's both?
No, he's just gonna grow into it. He's got to grow into it.
Okay, Vactorverse Grogu is Jedi fluid.
Yeah.
If there was an episode title, I would definitely drop that.
Love it.
And Sue said, yeah, we go. Toy Connector Ken. Grogu can be unaffiliated Jedi like Ahsoka was post-exile, right? Yeah.
I think both of these guys want to be unaffiliated.
Me too, D-Part. Me too.
Should we just make this the Purgle episode? And
I just
talk about everything else.
Okay, they can travel through hyperspace, which is for one super cool. We know that they attached themselves to a star destroyer, and moved, that whole through space somewhere, right? That starship, that star destroyer, crash lands on a planet. Okay, at which point Thrawn and Ezra have to have some kind of enemy mine situation where they're both using each other in order to survive.
Sure.
Okay. And
I'm the only one that got that.
And there's this moment where they both have to trust each other, but ultimately Thrawn turns on Ezra, right? So
sure.
Yeah. Anyway, that's I mean, that's what I want to see.
Here's my question to that.
Like that.
Okay. Rebels, an amazing show. Took like a season to get to that, right?
Sure, for sure.
Right.
Classic Filoni fashion. But I wonder, are people just gonna be able to drop into Ahsoka giving a crap about any of that?
I think the reason why the Purgle are in this thing is to set up hey, listen, you're gonna see this in Mandalorian, you're gonna ask what it is, so we just want you to get used to it in live action before we because they have to do it. If Ezra and Thrawn are in Ahsoka, 100% it's got to be in there.
Yeah, it's much like almost a Book of Boba Fett was used to kind of get you set up for season 3 of Mandalorian. This season of Mandalorian's got to get you set up for Ahsoka and get you into that world.
Yeah. I want Thrawn to create the First Order.
Yep.
Darthurian, yes. Thrawn has a baby during the exile with Ahsoka.
Damn.
I'm just
Captain says Jin is killed at the end of the series, and Din Djarin is killed, and Grogu shows up to defeat Din's killer and claim the Darksaber.
Wow. They're gonna kill off Din.
Who would be his killer?
Moff Gideon. Is Moff Gideon dead?
Sigmund and the Sea Monsters.
Yes, of course.
It was cool, by the way.
Ahsoka asked about Mando and Thrawn and Mandalorian.
Yes, she did.
So we know that that's out there, and we've been waiting for an answer to that. And I guess they may set up things in flashbacks. We might get, who knows what we'll get with Ahsoka.
They don't do a ton of flashbacks in Star Wars.
That's rewatching. They kept going back to that flashback of Din as a kid or whatever. And they kind of stopped doing that altogether.
Right.
I was wondering.
Right. You're kind of reminded.
Well, I was wondering if the whole intro was like, oh, is this when
Yeah.
Mando becomes Mando or whatever? No, it was just
Yeah.
another scene. Let's see. Are we getting live action Puffer Pigs next?
I
don't know
I
if
mean, they
anybody
put
wants
in
to see
Loft
that, but
Cats.
sure.
That's true. It's
I
true.
mean,
Why
yeah,
not?
they have.
We also got Factor versus the Mandalorian: The Voyage Home. Hashtag Space Whales.
I've been watching a lot of Star Trek. I've been in a very deep Star Trek, just
Well,
watching
you
the
have
whole
the
series.
season 3 of Picard with.
Yes, I've been watching that. All caught up on that, as well as just kind of going back because I haven't seen all of some of those shows. But I think there's a creature that travels through hyperspace in that show, but I've thus forgotten about it. So
Yeah, it's like a giant worm with a big open mouth. It's like a big wormy thing.
yeah.
Silva,
Yeah.
don't forget
Looks like
that
a big
Ahsoka.
whale shark
Mhm.
with a tail. Yeah.
Is this a Star Trek show or a Star
No,
Wars?
no. Sorry. We're getting our.
You talking?
I like all
You talking Star Trek?
related. I like all Star related.
Don't forget that Ahsoka asked about Thrawn in Mando season 2. Colleen is here. That must mean Survivor is over. Come on, that was Enemy Mine reference. If you were a Timothy Zahn fan in the 90s, live action Thrawn is exciting to see Thanos or Kang on screen for the first time. Everyone loves a big bad. And he was executed really well in Rebels too. Like he was awesome in Rebels. He was like he was an imperial whatever that didn't bumble around and screw everything up. Like he thought everything through and it was awesome. We still have 3 more seasons to figure that out. Favreau said we're only halfway through. That there would have to be a time jump then, right? To give age up Grogu into like adolescence.
Man, that's gonna be
200 years.
But I mean, it's gotta be tough for them to want to sort of pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, because then you're
baby version is their bread and butter.
He's so cute, but Yoda's cute and he's 900. So,
but my kids are total suckers for every scene with Grogu. I mean, they were just like, boom, like just. I mean, it's a show you can watch with your family, right?
So
as opposed to like Andor, which kids are like, what?
Kids hated Andor, but we loved it. It's my favorite TV Star Wars period.
But that's another thing I think was rough was coming out of Andor into this was like we got to get back to sort of basics.
But here's the thing, but it was fun.
So good
to be able to, because my kids, Alex, and he's my youngest, but he's kind of the most mentally mature of my two boys. He dug it, and Zach just didn't like it at all. But
so when you rip on your sons like that, does that mean they're not subscribed to this channel? And you can just do that?
I'm glad you brought that back because I was thinking the same thing,
you guys.
But it's just a difference. Like kids are different. Like, and Alex he's like 5 going on 70, and Zach's kids are different. They have
kids are they do. They
but,
do have their own.
But anyway, it was nice to have a Star Wars that was like a family affair,
Oh. Yeah.
But I would agree that Andor, I enjoyed that more as an adult,
Yeah, it was definitely.
But it'll be like there was stuff that my parents used to watch when I would like leave the room, and like later on, it was a treat to be able to go back and watch those shows.
Yeah.
So like one of these days, you're going to be old man Jay, and Zach's going to come in like doing his own. He's on Geek Dad Live 3, and he says, "Hey, we're thinking of doing a retro watch of Andor. Do you want to watch it with me?" And then you'll like Cats in the Cradle. You'll be all like crying and shit because
in the cradle
and stuff. I forgot and stuff.
It's just like me.
He watched Andor season 3.
Like me.
So yeah, you'll have something to share down the road.
There's room for both in Star Wars, and there's nothing that proves it more. Absolutely. And that's to me why I liked going back into this world, because it was like this. It was fun, but it still had stakes. All right, so the
you know what I need?
It's fine. the whole space pirates thing, which was kind of the middle section of that. So in this section, we're back with was it Chief High Magistrate?
High Chief.
High
Magistrate. Grief Karga.
So High Magistrate Grief Karga. He's got little robots to hold up his cape.
He's living large.
And you know, I dug it, and I dug the IG-11 callback and trying to bring him back to life. I think we all hoped they would bring him back to life, but I will say the previously on Lost thing definitely spoiled it, because like,
I skipped it.
IG-11.
I skipped it.
You skipped it. That was smart, because that was a huge spoiler.
But I didn't even have the chance to skip it before it showed it. It was like you immediately see IG-11 before I could even skip it.
Yeah,
like I was just like, oh, and then I hit skip. I was like, I don't want to see this, but
love this, Jeff. I need robots to hold up my cape. Also,
that's too
I loved the
much,
statue
dude.
with him gone too, missing from it. That was like really cool.
Yes, but I find it again. This is so like just making anything happen. Nobody's ever dead. It was like, of course they pieced him back together for the statue, and of course they could bring him back to life. Or whatever.
Yeah, that's on my list of the three things that I was like kind of semi annoyed by. One, how did the Mandalorian find the other Mandalorians? Like I was kind of like, what? How did he find them?
I'm gonna say the Force.
Okay. IG-11.
That's how Grogu found Ahsoka.
I really thought with having this thing right here that you would have been more blown out, or just like the physics of,
or he was in lava, so even the pieces he blew out would have melted in the lava.
Maybe that's why the lower half was missing when it exploded. His body or carcass went outward and hit the, I don't know. Well, anyway,
I mean,
remember that astromech droid with the long legs? Like this show's goofy. This show's goofy. It's
I
great.
loved it.
I'm okay with it, whatever, but it is very much just like, if he's the one droid he could trust, why the hell did you blow it up in lava? Like, just give yourself an easier out than blowing him up in lava. Like, it's just the pieces that would blow out would melt in the lava. Like, I just whatever. It's fine.
Maybe his top half shot up like a rocket.
Okay, so
away from the lava.
They were kind of in a canal because they were like in this. And,
okay.
And IG-11's like right here, and then the mouth of the canyon.
Is he drawing a wiener right now?
This is the lava flow that comes down. This is where he was standing, and then there was all of these like this is not kind of looking kind
cubes.
These are where the stormtroopers were like shooting at him, right?
Oh, now it kind of looks like a duck.
And then when it blew up, his carcass went kind of somewhere maybe over that way as it killed all of these other people, right?
So, I mean, that looks like
theory.
A behind.
Whatever you see is what you get. But
I'm gonna start drawing pictures. Look at this,
man. I appreciate your.
This is a quick sketch, okay? This is what I got. I'll try to come up with something better next week. Please take me off the main screen now.
Check out Geek Dong Live.
That was pretty classic. I'm gonna.
Where is Kayla? I don't know. It's earlier over there for her.
Pretty much, yeah. Kayla's missing out on all of the dong action.
7:15.
Oh my god. Anyway, but so cool that he's trying to get IG-11. I love that they brought back, who are the little guys? They're from. It's the one thing I like from Rise of Skywalker.
And Zellans.
The Babu Fricks.
Yeah, and Zellans.
Now I mentioned this on my show earlier. Both James and I mentioned it earlier, and I think it's important enough to bring up on this show because I want it out there in the world. We really, really want Disney to recreate this little hangar room and put it in Galaxy's Edge, where you get like tucked away in a corner.
Yes,
that would be cool.
With like plexiglass, and you can go and look into it. Because at first I'm like, these freaking Babu Fricks, really? We're gonna bring that cute thing in just so Grogu can hug it. Oh, and then I saw that little hangar, and it looked like a miniature from episode 1, and I'm like, okay, I like this. I like this. I'm good with this. All of this is fine. And
If you
and I
can
did like that
make
Yoda
those like things like
did.
animatronic, like old school animatronic kind of
Good.
stuff, you know, and in a
Yeah.
little place like that, yeah, I would totally want to see that.
just tucked away in the corner, like on that ramp that's on the backside of Docking Bay 97, Docking Bay 7,
There's a lot of just blank space.
or
and
someone in our chat. It might have even been Nick Dillinger said outside the droid depot. There's probably a little spot.
honestly, there's a lot of space there. Even the walkway to it. I don't know if Florida's the same way, but even the walkway into Galaxy, it's long and kind of.
I don't want to know.
This
what's
is the
happening.
lava flow, okay? And these are the stormtroopers. And that's
Now it looks
IG.
like the event from Andor
It's got a little hat.
with the little.
And then his body blows back somehow over here, and
No.
that's how he survives.
No, I don't
Anyway,
like
I cracked it.
it. Okay. Do we talk about Salad the Hut? No, well, Pirates are next. Pirates.
Salad Nut.
Did we talk
I've
about the
not seen
Purgle
that, but
yet?
that is some funny.
Let's talk about the Purgle.
But so these space pirates show up. They want to have a drink in the school, and for some reason they want to there's no bar in there. So what are you trying to get in here? It's a school. He
I
said,
think they really wanted to get some of those little blue cookies.
I want those little macaroons, blue macaroons, any macaroon. Give me all the macaroons. When I was in Paris for a brief moment, got a macaroon. I will say though, the macaroons in Paris, the ones in the US are just as good. You know, it wasn't just
I
as
think
good.
I had one once.
Croissants. Croissants were way better.
Really? Huh.
It's probably like 90% butter.
No, it was the crispiness. It was just like you bit into it, and all the little layers were as you bit into it.
Regular Michael Winslow. Wait, no, Michael.
Trying penises. Star Wars Dictionary.
This is what it is. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you for that. Just here to help. So
What's the pirate ship on the set? Well, okay, let's. So I want to say that because I did have the same thought, Scott D. We'll dig into that when we go out in space. Blue milk and brown cereal. So we have this little showdown. I freaking loved it. I love just Mando just kind of like, is everything all right here, Magistrate?
He's so cool. He's such a cool character.
well, we gotta have it's a Western. We have to have this Western kind of moment, right?
I guess so.
I love it. I loved every second of that. But I gotta say, you know, Mando's like, I need to get this part for his brain or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So he leaves. And then there's this space battle in asteroids. And you know, you never want to face a Mandalorian in an asteroid belt. And my kids and I, we loved it. It was a fun little space battle. And then we're introduced to Tossed Salad. What was his name?
Shard. Kale.
Swamp Thing. And I loved it.
Wedge kale.
Stale kale.
Wedge kale.
Wedge kale.
Romaine.
So I loved. Oh yeah, again, just all the fight, like every little bit of it, I freaking loved.
The asteroid battle where he comes up over, you know, that was a very nice, just like the way that was shot. You kind of knew this was going to have a really good payoff, and then the surprise, and then even him just kind of rising up, kind of like the shark, about to take them out. So I love that whole setup, but then also him being trapped in this moment. But we see that payoff for his souped up vehicle. You know that
I really like the N1 Starfighter.
Yeah.
What's up?
And I like the N1 Starfighter. I didn't really care for the Mando's version of it because I love the yellow. The episode 1, the Boo Fighters are awesome. But this episode, this episode it like really showcased it, like landing and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I don't think he needed to go kill that creature. I think the Mandalorians could have just like kind of
the Mandalorians
out of his
losing.
Like, but they should have just all ran away from
it's like,
this creatures who land this is. But that N1 Starfighter, it looks real good. It looks real good. You guys talking toys?
John's sleeping. I know.
This
for a
is
fact
this
John
is
isn't
this is
sleeping.
what this is my thought on the toy, and a lot of people have mentioned it. But if he fixes IG-11, he's not going to fit in that ship. So time to upgrade to something bigger. So
Razor Crest. If you're bringing back IG-11, you might as well bring back the Razor Crest.
what I mean, or
I'm
it's
gonna
going to
go
be a
back
third
there and
ship.
put it back
They'll
together.
just
and
find
he goes
another
back.
one just like it.
Sure.
Listen, I'm sitting on a HasLab Razor Crest that would love to sell. Nothing will make that easier than that damn ship coming back.
131.
We'll be 131. The Naboo fighter is going to be.
Can I say what it looks like they spent $130 on?
Sure.
Okay.
Vang's mouth. Okay, of all the things, his mouth really bothered me. That pirate that they meet and have the showdown with, his mouth and the way it moved, it was just kind of very like
wasn't pretty enough for you.
Yeah.
No, it just like the way the
I
movie
need a pretty mouth.
it didn't make sense. Like, right.
It was too Muppet for you. It was kind of like wow.
I was trying to figure out who. I was trying to recognize the voice the whole time.
It was
Same
just
way
kind
for
of up and
Black
down. I mean,
said.
I think if the shape around it moved, it would make more sense. But when you're using certain vowels or pronunciations, and all you can do is
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
like,
that's
it
kind of
just-
Chewbacca. That feels like classic Star Wars to me.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. It bothered
I
me.
think it's just now that it's shot in probably 8K or 12K
Right.
or something, that it's it's a little more noticeable. So you see the.
It bothered me more than Salad the Hutt. I'm just saying.
It's really in vogue for nerds to like practical effects, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fine.
So
I just didn't really.
Don't crap on the practical effects. I thought it was fine. No, I thought it was fine because it reminded me of old crummy Star Wars, like Nikto masks on the sail barge and stuff. Like, I kind of like the charm of Star Wars not being so refined in a world where anything could be done in CG.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to have a goofy looking.
I do like practical effects. Like, don't say that
Sounds like you don't.
Yeah.
No, I do.
But the Babu Frick guys look.
I do.
very
It's just
puppety,
that part
and I really
bothered me.
I like that they look puppety. Sigmund and the Sea Monster. What's his name? The crouton.
Oh yeah.
He blue cheese. Ranch.
Huh?
The salad guy. I thought he looked rad. He looked real like
Gorian Shard.
yeah.
Yeah, that's his name.
Like even his things dangled, like seemed
Yeah.
like they're tangled up
I
and
liked him.
weird. But
I
he
have
had a
nothing
cool
wrong with
mouth.
Gorian
Now
Shard.
that's a mouth I could get behind.
Okay.
But it was really articulated. Like they pushed in real close to it, so you can
Mhm.
see it like moving.
Moss.
Nice.
No, I do like practical effects. I like when they work. It was just something that bothered me about
Mhm.
it.
Sure.
Did he die? He's still alive though, that guy, right?
Who?
The dude that you didn't like the mouth.
Vang. Oh yeah, no, Vang's alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
He survived.
Yeah.
So he led them. He led
him to the
the
big ship.
Mandalorian to them,
Yeah,
which I
maybe
like the
he'll
paint
grow
job
on
on
you.
the ship too. I like the
Yeah. What about that
I
question?
like the
It did look-
stripes.
It
Yeah.
did look like a Clone Wars ship with the little like pod gun thingies. Was that from Clone Wars?
I don't know. I didn't. I the ship looked familiar, and yet I didn't place
It's
it as
from a
far as-
thing. I know it's from a thing. James mentioned it this morning on a different show,
Oh,
but I don't know. I don't remember what it was from.
okay.
So
It looked really familiar, but I just didn't, even before we started, I didn't look that up. I looked up other
Yeah.
things like that race of
Caesar
Ansellian.
Romaine.
What's up?
Caesar Romaine. That's the name of that.
Good Caesar salad sounds really good right now. Okay.
I like a
So he goes super speed and then he gets out of the way. And then we go to this castle. It just remind me of him kind of teaching Grogu the ways of the Mandalorian, right? Like before the whole space battle happened, he's like, this is what Mandalorian's not about fighting. It's not just about fighting.
When Grogu gets under the strap, like it's a seatbelt, I like
Oh,
that.
it's
That's
so
a cool
cute.
one.
I love
Yeah.
it.
That's fun.
and possibly Trade Federation, separatist model. It's only a model. It wasn't a hammerhead ship. It kind of had a hammerhead, but the hammerhead ship's it's more
right. It's more to the side.
It looked like a
Yeah,
Masters of the
yeah.
Universe ship,
So.
like it looked like it had a beak on the front.
a little bit. But
I've always wanted to see more space pirate kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, like having that.
Hondo is going to show up when they're talking about pirates. Oh, is it Hondo?
I really thought that too.
I thought the other lizard person in their crew had really great. The Trandoshan that was in that crew. I thought that the makeup on that was amazing. So
is that the first time we've seen a Trandoshan talk in live action?
Didn't we see that in Book of Boba? Because there were Trandoshans and
oh yeah, there were Trandoshans.
Because there was those Trandoshans that were partying, and then and he's like, "No, I'm gonna kill you guys," and he was like, "Bruh," and then all like, oh, it was so good.
Boba Fett, Boba Fett. I will say I forgot about that, even though it's only been like a year or whatever. And when I rewatched it, I was like, oh yeah. That's a thing.
That's a thing. Now I said that I could listen to that music, the theme of the Mandalorian, riding on a horse in the desert, and you said
wandering around the desert aimlessly with no main goal, just wandering around with nothing to do.
But it's about the journey, not the destination, Ralph.
Like a bantha.
Okay, so he gets to this castle, which looks like a future old style castle.
And
that's cool. I like it. It looks like Galactus's helmet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And it has that cool Art Deco in Star Wars world stained glass too, which was I noticed. It was really cool detail.
So it's just Bo-Katan chilling with the robot.
Yeah, she's just like, "What's up?" I just happen to have my helmet right here.
So disrespectful.
Set facing the camera.
Oh, did you just show up? I was watching the sports game. There's no
You're
TV.
so unimportant that I'm not even gonna sit up for you.
There's a fridge in the back with some beers. Yeah,
dump all over the place in the helmet.
Still haven't, yeah.
That's what I didn't understand was they at the baptism they put the boys Spirit of Halloween helmet on him, and then they give him a bowl of water. What was he supposed to do with it? He just literally was going to say, "I won't take my helmet off ever."
But I think they pour it on the helmet.
Is it a test?
Yeah, the helmet maybe.
Yeah, and then he's back. I
to make it look plasticky.
It's like here. Now try to drink
like a
this.
Ben Cooper mask.
It's like a test. Here, drink this. So,
yeah.
Also, he's got a full set of hair. As an initiate, wouldn't you just okay, your head's shaved?
Cut.
Yeah.
Cut the back.
Or keep.
That's what that noise is. That's what the noise is when they put it on.
But the thing is, if you watch it, his hair's still long when it's put on, even after the sound. But then it cuts away, and then when it cuts back, his hair is tucked in. So something happens between cuts.
Yeah, it's like a little there's a drawstring that we don't see that comes down. And pulls up. It's like that Back to the Future 2 clothing material. It's it pushes a button and just does it.
Jared says the pirate ship looked like an Eclipse class Star Destroyer.
Oh,
there you go.
Okay.
That Eclipse class.
Okay, can I just say one thing about Bo-Katan?
Yes.
Yeah, sure, please.
I'll let you say more than one thing.
Okay. So I might have just a slight crush on Katie Sackhoff, but that aside,
Who doesn't?
Okay. Just want to say that Mandalorian needs her for the sheer fact. I don't know if it looked like that. I didn't think it was wide on the top.
That looks big. It's bigger than a Star Destroyer.
Yeah, that's from.
It has similar vibes. For sure.
Yeah,
that's from Dark Empire. So that one watercolor image. Anyway, Mandalorian needs her just so he can get out of this crazy cult. you know, and she's the only person,
He wants
ironically.
to get back in the cult. That's my thing that pisses me off about it. It's just like, you're finally free. You took off your helmet.
Right.
Go be free. You're free, Dobie.
Yeah,
Like,
you're free. Like,
You're
you know, crack the egg open and be one with the universe, man. Like, why go back into the prison? But this is clearly, this is the way, right?
yeah.
So she's the one person, the one character that I feel like they could break him out of that
Mhm.
that mindset.
Right.
But she's too brooding. She's too
She's like mad. She's mad that this guy who doesn't care about
yeah,
who cares about the wrong things is in charge.
I guess I don't know where her storyline will go.
yeah.
You know, but I kind of like that it's open.
Sounds like a perfect Mandalorian storyline to me.
Thunderhouse Design says, "Goodbye, Don Jarin."
Done.
She's. I dug her more into season 2. This one I was kind of like, ugh, just stop being mopey and
Stop being mopey. Yeah, well, okay, sure. She's being mopey, but she's lost all of her crew.
followers. But so she's just sitting there, like,
I know. I assume she was watching the World Cup because there was nothing else going on in her life.
it would make more sense if she was watching some Star Wars sports game.
Right?
Detroit football that was in
Ball.
Yeah, like what else are you gonna do? You got a castle, like, and there's no one else there, not a single droid.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also,
there's clearly
she's
her
always
story
wearing her armor.
Yeah, it's just like you're not gonna.
Oh.
There's no sweatpants. Like, just if there's nobody else, get in your comfy clothes, get in your jammies.
Scott D, I'm kind of wondering too. Yeah, get in your pajamas. Like, why you got your suit on?
Just some Mando jams.
Well, clearly she was in her lower bunker, saw him arriving, and then, gotta get this on, gotta get
Look really chill, like she was not that worried about it.
Right.
The question here is, and I think Scott D is kind of hitting upon this,
Mhm.
she's going to change her mind and hunt down Mando to get the Darksaber. Do you think this scene, much like I'm saying this opening scene is shadowing Grogu becoming a foundling officially,
Mhm.
do you think this scene is setting up an eventual showdown between Bo-Katan and Mando?
Ooh. I mean, I can write it in my mind how I want it to go, but it's probably not going to go that way.
I'm gonna say no.
Like, I mean, I want a redemptive arc for her where she's in a situation where she can get the Darksaber, and actually saves him,
Uh-huh.
I'd like to see something kind of like that from her character, but I don't know. I mean,
No, I feel like she's kind of kicked back about the whole thing. And the armor is way more serious. And I think the armor would be more prone to like be a bad guy and go after these guys. I have a feeling because the armor at the beginning was like, you're not a Mandalorian anymore, get out of here, screw you.
right.
And Mando was like, well, actually, the ancient texts say that if I go in this water, then I'm good.
Yeah.
And she couldn't decline that. She's like, dang.
The way.
I have a feeling that he's going to show up in Mandalore with the Darksaber, and it's going to open up something like Castle Grayskull. It's going to be like a key that opens up texts that like tell Armor Cult that, hey, listen, guys, that is not the way.
Yeah.
You were actually doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And he like tries to create this new Mandalore with Bo-Katan, and the armor's like, no.
Well,
those are secrets that need to be locked away. And then Baby Yoda, whose name is Grogu, busts out his Yoda lightsaber.
Whatever you say.
And fights with those guys.
I love
against the armor. Because they're a cult, man.
They're
a cult. I do not trust them. They're hardcore.
Yeah.
And I feel like, much like the Jedi text, maybe like in what Yoda's teaching, maybe things don't need to be so hardcore.
It's a sacred text.
So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. But I think we'll just get a couple side quests, and maybe season 5 we'll get some.
So
no, I think they're going to Mandalore. This
oh yeah,
for sure.
you can't put that in the you know.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of hoping secretly that we would just get to Mandalore in this first episode.
Same. Yeah.
You know, I think that was the only thing that I was disappointed about. I mean, really, I liked all of the things that we did. It felt like we got these pieces, like I said, laying the table work for what's to come.
Sure.
But I think when the Mandalorian has been bold, like taking the risks of like with the character and like putting him in situations where you're like, what? Wait, this is happening now?
Yeah.
Those are always the moments that, as far as fans or even just like, you know, fans of Star Wars, where we're like, holy shit, this is Luke Skywalker. Holy shit, we're getting this. You know,
settle down.
Sorry,
words.
I forgot what show I was on.
Some of our children are subscribed and watching, Matt.
None of ours, but children are watching.
So anyway, you know what I mean, though.
Yes, 100%.
And yes. I think those are also the things that, you know, as Jay was saying earlier, that when you go back for, you're wanting those kind of you know, deeper, meaningful, full, or more kind of mythic kind of based episodes.
Yeah, we kind of look at like the trailer for Mando season 3 and be like, okay, how many scenes are not on Mandalore? So how much time will we actually get before we get there?
Charlie Weaver says, so you wanted setting the table and then ripping the tablecloth out from under him.
Is that too much to ask in an hour episode? See, season 2 started.
It was only 36 minutes though, and Disney Plus credits are like 6 minutes, so really it was like 30 minutes.
Yeah. It was shorter than like what I said. Like the season 2 opener had a full kind of more 50-minute. You know, here we go. So.
I think Sean has a good point here. The Mando and armor conversation at the beginning was a bit of a waste.
Right.
And it's exact conversation in the Book of Boba in the episode, and then she told him how to fix things with water. Yeah, it is interesting, but it's again, it's the problem with doing those episodes in you know, maybe all Star Wars fans have to watch it, but not everyone did because people kind of dipped out of that one. And there's like let's make sure we remind everybody that he could get back in this cult if he dips his face in the water.
I feel like it should have held a little bit more tension of like, but you said this or something like that. Kind of like have it more like, hey, acknowledge the fact that we've had this conversation before. And by the way, I'm upping the stakes. Like, you know, now, you know, but it had been what? I don't know how long that conversation had because that was in Book of Boba Fett. So, and the whole time.
I think this is what I think.
Okay.
I think we have all of that BS out of the way. The table is set. So we're really hoping for a upswing on episode 2. I know they did some sort of screening event for fans. I wasn't invited for some reason.
Oh, weird.
Thanks, that's Star Wars.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks, Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni.
Thanks a lot, Ryan Johnson.
Freaking
Poker Face, watch it. You're gonna enjoy the hell out of it.
Oh, new episode tomorrow. Okay, so they showed 2 episodes at that event because I feel like they wanted people to have a good time.
Yeah.
So
that with this because they've done it. Andor, they did 3 episodes to start. Why don't they just give us 2?
Because we're only getting 8, and they really want to stretch it out. I think
it's only 8. I thought they did more this time. Still,
that's how first and second season were. There were 8 episodes.
Yeah, but I thought maybe they do more this time.
Yeah, but I'm good doing 1 podcast a week. I don't want to have to like set up.
Really, that's what it's all. That's what it's all.
Yeah,
it's just for this podcast.
I have a schedule set up that I want to stick to. No surprises.
Okay, gentlemen, see you into the episode. That means it's time for screen memes. And for the first time ever, actually, patrons know this because I talked about it. If there are any non-patrons here, you'll be able to see this for the first time. But also, it was not hidden or anything. So if you stumbled upon geekdadlife.com, you would have seen this. But the website, geekdadlife.com, has got a big refresh. It's a big part of, phase 3 or whatever of GDL. And Colleen Gladfelter, my wife, is going to be heading up running the website geekdadlife.com. And there's screen memes, or as we put it here, meme DeLorean, will be on the Geek Dad Life website. So I put a link in the description if you all want to click on that link and follow along with us at home. So here we go. Mandalorian chapter 17 screen memes. But I gotta say, just like it's just this the helmet is so
it's so good.
It shows how disrespectful she is to the whole helmet thing.
Yes.
Like, it would be
even more if she like just kicked it off. She's like, yeah.
I was sitting on this the whole time.
Yeah. The GCU phase 3. We're in phase 3. Website is phase 3. But anyway, okay.
But I wrote a little thing about Trapjaw. If anyone wants to read it,
I'll close with that because there's some good articles on there that I will send.
Mine's not a good article. I just was like, I want to be on this.
Listen, I appreciate the tenacity, Ralph. Like, I'm going to write an article, and you had it ready to go.
She's got a good view of the ocean there too, though. I mean,
yeah, like, why are you looking down the empty hallway?
Yeah,
turn that seat around.
Plenty of time to get up and greet him. He chose not to. Alrighty. Mandalorian.
Oh, I love this, Colleen. She's only a Mandalorian on Christmas and Easter.
She's one of those C&E.
Miss Catan, are you trying to seduce me? All right. Let's get to these memes. Here we go.
All right.
First one. Return of the King. We saw Grogu. I think Kayla sent some into Colleen and helped her fill this out. That one's that's a Kayla Silva one, right there.
Oh, the Lord of the Rings for sure.
Yeah.
So,
all right, I love this one. The reaction of Star Wars fans who skipped the Book of Boba Fett and just jumped into the Mandalorian season 3. Somehow Grogu returned.
That's a good one.
I like that there can be Rise of Skywalker memes, that we know that line so well.
Because Rise of Skywalker is so bad. I know, Ralph, you love Rise of Skywalker, but it's so bad.
Yeah, we had mentioned getting you on live action Star Wars to do the episode with us. Instead, I picked 2 people who love it to join us.
Smart. That was smart.
About 50-50.
But I mean, if you want to hear 4 fans speak positively about the Rise of Skywalker, I feel like a lot of really good points were brought up during that episode. I really liked the episode. It was very, very energetic and fun.
Listen, but here's the thing, Rob. You missed.
I'm not trying to sway anybody, but I think there's some good points made.
Can I just say something real quick? I didn't like it. It's the only Star Wars movie I've only seen once.
Right.
Ever. Not even like once in theaters. I saw it the one time in theater and I have not watched it again. Every other Star Wars I've at least seen twice in theaters and then multiple times at home. So you missed an opportunity to be like, you know what, Jay, watch it again and maybe your opinion would change.
Yeah. I wanted the sure thing.
See,
it was my birthday. It was my birthday episode. I was like, this is how I want my birthday to go.
Yeah.
I think there's a conspiracy here because they forced Grogu to hug the symbol of Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, yeah. That's Matt, I like that.
Yeah.
Can I just
That's my crackpot theory.
I know it's been a while. I know it's been a while since we've done Screen DeLorean, meme DeLoreans, but I feel like we're missing some explanations of these.
Oh,
okay, I'll do the next one. Okay.
Thanks. It's always it makes me so happy.
Oh, this one's even more complicated, so this will work.
I was the reaction to every parent to be dreads when they tell their parents the new baby's name. Go ahead.
So the top one we see.
Oh man, it's 4 panels. It's going to take a while.
I know it does, and I'm trying to think of her name too because it's Amy Sedaris' character, and she's like Grogu, and then the next one says, "Wow, that's a terrible name."
It's a terrible impression.
Oh, thanks. Okay,
Grogu. That's a terrible name. That's better.
That's a terrible name. Okay. You're probably okay, never mind. So then the bottom corner is Mandalorian. And I like how the text is yellow on this one. And it says, his name is Grogu. And then we see Chief Magistrate Grief Karga saying, oh, if you say so. Is that pretty good? Is that a little bit better?
Speaking
it
of
almost sounded like Stallone.
If Christopher Lloyd's character's name in Mandalorian season 3 isn't DeLorean, what even is the point? Is Christopher Lloyd going to be in this season?
I didn't know that.
There's a rumor that him and Tim Meadows are going to be in it.
Okay. Oh, Tim Meadows.
Wow.
Yes.
He was great on Poker Face.
Tim Meadows absolutely was great on Poker Face. And Christopher Lloyd was great in was it Nobody?
Oh yeah.
Christopher Lloyd's character is like this creepy old Gollum-like character.
Okay, Mandalorian chapter 17, spoilers without context.
Okay, I love this. So the first corner is this guy baptizing another guy. Okay. The next one is just humpback whales. And then the bottom corner is the orange M&M, and then the last
okay.
is Swamp Thing. So love it.
Love all of it. I'm excited for the Swamp Thing movie. So excited.
James
those were Reese's Pieces, by the way. So
they were Skittles.
Were they Skittles?
What?
Yeah, they're red. They were red.
They were
orangey looking. They have much more orange.
Pretty red.
Situation do you know? They were orange.
They were orange.
I think you need to adjust your color TV.
Your contrast.
Stevie wants to know who my guests were on. I think she is trying to help me promote. My guest on that episode was Pete the Retailer from Star Wars Minute and Star Wars author Riley Silverman. And it was a terrific conversation. It was
some very biased opinions. I'm kidding.
It was an echo chamber. It was designed to be an echo chamber.
Okay.
Ooh, Scott D says Red Hots.
Those were Red Hots.
Yeah, get out of
here.
Stop watching this.
Anyway.
I thought they were red. They looked red to me.
To me, I thought.
But I also watched this at like 6 a.m.
They looked like Reese's Pieces to me. Just orange Reese's Pieces.
That's 2 out of 3 Geek Dad Life.
And it could be like Baby Yoda or Yoda is so connected to ET that's just
maybe. Well, they're going to come out with it's going to be called Grogu beans. And there'll be like little candied beans in there.
Grogu beans. I took my bowl of candy beans.
I love that so much. All right, another one. Spoilers.
Episode 1 out. Another out of context. A Twitter thing here. So it's Crocodile Hunter. This is the first corner. The other one is
Dexter's Laboratory.
What is it saying?
Dexter's.
Using your head.
Because of the IG-11 attack.
Yeah. And then the bottom corner is a dad letting his son drive, which is so cute and reminds me of what I love about this show. And last is the Queen on the Game of Thrones.
The games of Thrones.
It's not Games of Thrones. Dang it!
It's the Throne of Games.
Oh my God. Where's the lie? Gonna need at least 20-minute scene of Din bathing in the living waters of Mandalore for storytelling purposes.
I like how this is Ewan McGregor too, smiling.
I feel like Kayla submitted this one.
That definitely feels like a Kayla meme for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like we could all co-sign it. I mean, Pedro Pascal, he's a hottie.
Sure, not as much as Jonathan Majors apparently, but sure.
No, Jonathan Majors is peak hottie.
That's what I was thinking about, Luke, Johnny. Boston baked beans, except they're like repackaged as Grogu beans.
I just like the alliteration, like Grogu beans. It's like Juju bees or something.
I've had Boston baked beans in a long time. That sounds good.
Florida man fights creature. I really love how they're not relying on the volume or CGI this season because this was filmed on location in Florida.
I also thought at one moment we were getting part of Jurassic World 5.
Yep.
I still liked it. It was a good setup scene, even though it took up too much time. And
they murdered an animal that didn't deserve to die.
it was killing
kinda
those
bugged
It was
people.
killing people, man. You gotta.
And
The people did not attempt to run away. Just run away.
let's
I
fight
agree.
it.
Do not engage.
But hey, listen, fighting is a part of the Mandalorian religion.
This is why it was also filmed in
Yeah,
Florida.
might
It was
be.
just like some parent letting their kid go out, and then everybody's upset. Meanwhile, the gator was
the
like,
kid
"This
got
is my-"
killed too soon.
The kid lived. He's fine. He's fine.
What? Really?
Yeah, the kid didn't die.
Is this a
And his
recent
dad
story
knocked
that
him out of the way. Remember?
I was talking about something that may
Oh.
have happened a long time ago.
I think a real kid got eaten by an alligator at Disneyland.
It's probably happened.
Oh, yeah, that's really sad. Why are you saying that?
That's not what I was
Yeah,
talking
Matt.
about.
Damn.
I was talking about
Matt.
something different.
All
I
right.
was not talking about that. Okay, what's the next one? Roll the credits.
They went in the water. That's their fault.
Yeah, with their armor, and they can't swim. Who even knows if they can breathe in those helmets?
They can fly. They've got jetpacks.
Everything is legal in Florida except for free thought.
and Democrat.
Anyway,
Yeah.
moving on. This is the rule. On Wednesdays, we wear Beskar. Always good with Mean Girls.
Mean Girls with a
Meme.
Yeah.
mean Girls.
Power move. I just think that Star Wars characters sitting subtly in chairs.
Oh, I thought that said sleddily. Yeah, it does say.
You're right. It is Slutterly.
It does say Slutterly.
Sorry, I didn't read it back.
You were trying to PG-13 this.
I was trying to PG-13 it.
Was that my fault?
Oh.
Okay. Excuse me. I mean, it's in the. It's
All right,
in
but
the
who's
meme.
okay? Who's the sluttiest out of
Okay,
these three?
okay,
I think
so-
it's Thrawn.
So
Thrawn
we have a picture
Who's-
of Bo-Katan, Thrawn, who looks like he's trying to use mental powers, and then the bottom one, which we just see the crotch of,
It's Darth Maul. That's
is
Darth
Darth Maul, yeah, from the Clone Wars.
Oh, Darth Maul's the
Which checks
sluttiest.
out considering what he showed on Instagram. So that actually.
Whoa, I did not know
That's what
that.
I was gonna say.
Oh. Was it something like this?
Yeah, it was just.
It's the
Anyway, I think out of the three, I think Thrawn had the most seductive leg action. Out of these three.
Okay, that's you.
What's your pick? All right.
Oh, this is a cute little thing. Best dad out there, and it's got from
Last
the
of Us, yeah.
Last of Us,
Pedro,
yes.
Pedro
and then-
Pascal.
well, he's in both, right?
Yeah.
So, and then it's got Grogu and Mandalorian. Oh, that's funny. So it's a spider Pedro pointing, and it's got the Mandalorian pointing at Pedro Pascal, and he's pointing back. Is that? Am I reading that right?
Yes.
And it's a
Is he
reference
the
to
dude
Spider-Man.
from Last of Us.
Yeah.
But shouldn't there be a third one involved? Because that's what I'm used to in this.
Yeah. You need a
It
third.
used to be two, but with the movie, the Spider-Man movie.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
while it's not a meme per se, this Wednesday, Mando mashup is too amazing not to share all over the internet. The Mandalorian returns tomorrow. I'm about to make this show my whole personality again. So there you go. There's this episode's screen memes. You can check them out on your own leisure on geekdeadlife.com. There's a link to this exact article in the description. Click on it. Check it out. Leave a comment. And we'll be doing all screen memes on geekdeadlife.com from now on. So they will be there forever for you to enjoy anytime. Play the video.
good to
I don't
know.
want to get demonetized, Colleen. Even
Yeah.
friends at Netflix, they will shut us down.
Shut it down.
They will shut it down.
Shut it down.
Anyway, gentlemen, this was a lot of fun. Excited to talk Mandalorian with you fine gentlemen, as well as everybody in the chat. Thank you for hanging out. We'll be covering the entirety of season 3 of Mandalorian right here on Geek Dad Life 2, Geeky TV and film reviews. So hit the subscribe button and that bell so you don't miss any of it. And if you enjoy this video, hit the like button. Ralph also hosts a fantastic Star Wars focused channel
You don't say
Over.
Ralph.
over on Live Action Star Wars. Is it at Live Action Star Wars, Ralph?
It's at Live Action SW, but just go to liveactionstarwars.com.
Okay.
That'll take you where you need to be.
I'll take you right there. Matt, you have a fantastic. It's TikTok is where you do most of your time.
I do TikTok and Instagram with Everyday Inventors. I have not been posting for a while, mainly because I'm in the middle of teaching a class right now on the history of comics, which is taking up a lot of my time and research because there's so much to cover in that. So if you
Jerry
get a chance to take
Seinfeld,
my comic book class in the
Robin
future, good luck.
Williams, Kevin Hart.
It's comic book.
He didn't say comic book. He said comics.
Oh, anyway. That was a Jack joke right there.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Action Live Star Wars. Gotcha.
Got it.
And then are you going to do it
think
on cruise, Matt, or does that get your crew together? Is that required?
It just depends on getting the crew together on a day. That's the tricky part.
So you can find that on iTunes or whatever. You can find podcasts Own and Brews Barbecue. Is
really, this is the crew though. You like this crew more, right?
This is way better. No offense to those crew.
We kind of give you crap, but at least our crap is fun. We give you fun crap.
And then we also have a new Twitter handle. I gotta make a little thingy for it. Geek Dad Tweets is our Twitter handle.
I still check that other one every once in a while.
We're working hard to try and get the Geek Dad Life handle. But a dude made it in 2011, hasn't done anything with it since.
But what's great about it is if you go to that Twitter handle and click the link, it takes you right to Jay's new page.
Yeah, because he bought geekdadlife.com too. He let that lapse, and thanks to you, Ralph, I was able to pick it up, swoop in, and pick it up a couple years ago. I have every other handle everywhere else. I just need that Twitter handle, baby. You need that goddamn Geek Dad Life Twitter handles over there. But anyways, until then, Geek Dad Tweets is our Twitter handle. And that's it. We'll see you all next time. Hasta luego. And goodbye.